Hi, welcome to Living in El Paso, Texas. In this episode, we're comparing El Paso to Sedona, Arizona. Hi, thank you so much for checking out the YouTube channel. My name is John Pena, and in this episode, Leah and I are asking the question, is El Paso, Texas more beautiful than Sedona? So we'll get to that in 1 second, but we really enjoyed our trip to Sedona. We were able to try out the rooftop tent in Flagstaff the night before and really do some pretty serious exploring. But let's just jump into it, and we're gonna give you the answer to that question. So Leah, is El Paso, Texas more beautiful than Sedona?
Definitely no.
No, she is correct. El Paso is not as beautiful as Sedona, but as you're gonna see, Sedona's pretty beautiful. I mean, it's really a pretty magical place. You're basically surrounded by beauty everywhere you look just because of the way the geography is. And so it was pretty awe-inspiring, would you say?
One of the most beautiful places I've been.
We like comparing El Paso to other cities because it's a great excuse to get out and explore. And El Paso does great against most cities, quite honestly, especially when it comes to things like, say, cost of living, weather. But when it comes to views, you know, it's really very hard to beat. It's hard to beat Sedona. Let's kind of start out showing you the day here. So this is us driving through where, Leah?
This is the canyon from Flagstaff into Sedona.
As you can see, once you come into Sedona, it really is pretty awe-inspiring if you ask me. When you pop out of the canyon, you do come into this little area called Uptown, which reminds me that one of the things that's a big difference between El Paso is the size of the city.
Definitely. Sedona is a cute little town, not a city.
Absolutely not. We didn't check, but I imagine 100,000 tops.
Yeah, probably less.
Probably less. So we are going to show you some of the different areas, but it's definitely a smaller type of city than El Paso is. And so this is us. And by the way, you know, part of this channel has always been about real estate. So if you're interested in kind of comparing El Paso real estate to Sedona real estate, stay till the end where we do a little comparison of a home that we go out and check out. So, but this is us driving to our Airbnb, and one of the things you mentioned is that even if you don't have a view from your house, you've got views
on every road, no matter which way you're driving, there are incredible views. So you might not have a view from your home, but your drive to your home is going to be beautiful. In Sedona, I don't think we found an area where that wasn't the case.
I think you're probably right. And so just so you can kind of see, this was our Airbnb. What was the breakdown on the Airbnb, Leah?
Yeah, the Airbnb was about $130 a night, and once you added in all of the extra Airbnb fees, the total cost for 3 nights was about $550. Reasonable price for Sedona.
Yeah, that seemed pretty reasonable. When you were looking, were there a lot of cool options?
There were a lot of options. It was definitely hard to decide. We chose this. One, it looked nice, new. It was one of their plus or one of their recommended rooms. And then it was also a nice location.
Definitely. And what did you think about Karen's?
Karen's was a dream come true for someone with celiac disease. This is a fully gluten-free bakery, and I think 99% of it is also dairy-free. So we had breakfast there a few days, and that was a real treat.
Yeah, it really was. And so, you know, we wanted to really explore and see what Sedona had. Was this your first time? It was mine.
This was my first time in Sedona, I believe. Or I drove through when I was maybe 16 years old.
Nice. So we wanted to really get out and explore, and tomorrow we went out in the Jeep and things got pretty hairy for us, but before that we decided to kind of do these like electric bike tours. Leah found these, and so we were super excited to set this up for ourselves.
So you just hold the power button down.
Okay.
spells out red. And then so it shows you your battery condition here.
Okay.
And so the electric bikes were pretty sweet, would you say?
I love the electric bikes. Definitely something I want to look into doing more, either when we travel or even getting a couple of our own.
Right, and you definitely want an electric bike if you're living in Sedona, because unless you're just like Lance Armstrong crazy, but and by the way, I did see some people doing like real bikes, but there's no way, like we needed the help.
No, that was an accessibility aid for those of us who don't bike regularly.
Absolutely. So this was Chapel of the Cross. This was an amazing place. What did you find out about this place?
This place is just stunningly beautiful, no matter whether you're inside of the chapel or outside. It was completed in 1956. It took 18 months to build, and the total cost was $300,000.
Unbelievable, and it really was beautiful. So this is actually us coming back from Chapel of the Cross. Like these homes here that you're seeing are right around Chapel of the Cross. Lots in and of themselves were going for up to about $400,000, and then most of the homes in here that were on sale at the time were between $1 and $2 million. And the final leg of our e-bike tour took us to the village of Oak Creek. So this is a little bit outside of Sedona. I think they still kind of consider it a suburb of Sedona, but it was pretty beautiful, as you can see. This was, how far away do you think we were from Sedona now?
Gosh, I have no idea. We must have been 5-7 miles.
What do you think of the electric bike so far?
I love the electric bike. We gotta get a couple of these.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. Ready? This is a pretty epic area going actually to there is an actual Oak Creek. As you can see, we passed by that kind of mansion-y house there. So this was, there's definitely a interesting mix of public and private land. This is obviously public here, and this was a pretty beautiful little space. What do you think?
Gorgeous river, yeah. It felt so good to walk in it after biking all that way. And then if you're John, you did a little bit more than walking in it.
Felt like something I had to do for the channel, you know. Yes, you were much more casual in your entrance.
Definitely, yeah. Although I kind of wish I would have had my suit. It looked like it was pretty refreshing to jump in.
Yeah, it definitely was. A little bit cold, but very refreshing. So, you know, all in all, I mean, yeah, this is hard to beat. You know, El Paso, we've got the Rio Grande, but of course it's nothing quite like this necessarily. Like you could tell that you could probably do some pretty serious fishing in there, and then it's got the views, it's got the forest. There doesn't seem to be any shortage of water, so pretty beautiful place. Where were we at here?
Here we were at the Hideaway, I think it was, and we earned a much needed drink after biking for 4 hours.
So that wraps up this episode where we kind of jokingly, you know, tried to say, is El Paso more beautiful than Sedona? But we're trying to make the point that, look, every city has their good things and their bad things. And, you know, all in all, El Paso is awesome. But if you're looking for beauty, then Sedona is probably a place to check out.
Yes, but that's not to say that El Paso doesn't have some of its own beauty here within our community as well. But definitely Sedona is more beautiful.
Absolutely. And so for this next little section, check us out here kind of explaining a little bit more in depth some of the nuances of the housing market in El Paso versus Sedona. Okay, so I mean, we're real estate agents. One of the things we love is real estate. And so we thought when we're comparing these different cities, you know, we talk a lot about what's there to do, just going on a vacation, enjoying yourself. But to us, it's really interesting how home prices and values really change between city to city. So we are going to kind of spotlight a city in every place that we can compare El Paso to. This is a great example. This is a home in the west part of Sedona. This is basically a nice area, like comparable to, let's say, the west side of El Paso, Franklin Hills, Bear Ridge area, or something like that. You know, not the most prestigious, but a great location regardless. Now, this home is a 3-bed, 2-bath home with 1,981 square feet. That also happens to be the year the home was built, 1981. This home is for sale right now for $969,000. Okay, so just under $1 million. That's about $489 a square foot. Now, in El Paso, our average price per square foot is about $150 a square foot. So $150 a square foot in El Paso, 489 square feet in Sedona. But what do you get? I'm gonna ask Leah to pan over here. Honestly, what you get in Sedona are just unbelievable views. You're surrounded by nature. This home behind me is 0.34 acres, and it's usable ground, you know, so the backyard, you can garden, you can grow food, you could probably raise chickens here. There's just so many more types of vegetation, trees, bushes, plants that are gonna grow here. And so thought this was a pretty interesting example. We'll put up some of the pictures from the inside. Looks like the kitchen had been redone, but just kind of, you know, what you get, value. What do you get for your money? Well, in El Paso, you get a lot of home for your money. In Sedona, you get beauty, nature, and I mean, obviously that's worth something, because 489 a square foot versus 150 a square foot, you got to get something for that money. So we just thought this was an interesting one to kind of compare to El Paso.